gon' take it up from last year. Shoot 'em a shot while I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stay down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down.
Music licensing reimagined.
Watch the game change, yeah.
Artlist.io.
Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Tell them it's like, yeah, I love it. I'm taking a shot for my enemies. I can't waste no more time on my energy. I know they know I got it on lock. Go against me, that's a long shot.
Music licensing reimagined.
Taking the lead now while they watching. Think you should leave now while they option. Taking that wealth, yeah, I got away. I'm watching kick out that door, they won't let me in. We running the game now. Foot on the gas, can slow down. No, my team, we holding it down. We know we running it now. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Good evening, everybody. Thursday night football has been completed. Let's just start off with there. It's a 33 in the building. But tonight's game was the New England Patriots versus the New York Jets. And let's just say that the New York Jets handled the New England Patriots, with the final score being 24-3. Aaron Rodgers had a very nice, he had a productive game. It was very nice. He was 27 of 35, 281 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. But the thing about, Aaron Rodgers today was his mobility, at least in the pocket. A couple times he got out the pocket. He scrambled for 18 yards. And he just looked like he was more comfortable on the field within the last 2 games, the first 2 games rather of the season. Well, the 49er game, he didn't have room to move one, and that being his first game playing after the Achilles ruptured from last year. So he looked very timid then. He looked a little better against the Titans, but today was a totally different story. Like I said, he rushed for 18 yards tonight. I mean, it's not a big number, but the fact of the mobility, he's trying to get it back. And he tried to show a couple things tonight, right? So, the Jets rushed for 133 yards. But tonight was really about ball control. Y'all remember the 49ers had a 2-to-1 ratio over the Jets. It was the same. It was the opposite here. The Jets had the ball for 40 minutes. New England only had the ball for 20, rounding it off, of course. But, there was no offensive luster from the Patriots because the Jets had the ball so long. Let me tell you what I mean, right? So Jacoby Brissett was the quarterback. He was 12 of 18 for 98 yards. Even in the garbage time, Drake May, the rookie quarterback out of North Carolina, came in. He was 4-8 for 22 yards. So that's, 120 yards passing. 16 of 26 for 120 yards passing. So you're not going to do nothing. That run game was non-existent, as the the highest rusher. It was 5 for 29. They ran the ball actually. Well, they ran the ball in garbage time a lot. So, but we're just going to tally it all up together. 52, 64, 69, 78 rushing yards in the entire game. You can't really, you're not going to get nowhere with that. And you only throwing for 120 yards. So, they had a very ineffective offensive night tonight, did the Patriots. So it's going to look like it was all about the Jets. Now, I will say this on me being a Jets fan, I will say this. They try to make Aaron Rodgers throw for 300 yards. I didn't really approve of it. The game wasn't that close for him to do all of that. But if you just stat padding, missing eight passes for and 281 yards, you can't complain about that. Tyler Conklin had a good game, 93 yards. Garrett Wilson had a touchdown pass tonight. Lazard had another touchdown pass. I think that's the second touchdown in 2 weeks for him. But Aaron Rodgers was really basically spreading the ball around as he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 different receivers. He hit 8 different receivers tonight. He just looked more comfortable. He looked as if, it was a familiar spot for him. And because it was, like I said, it was his first home game, I guess he had to get it. What up, Nine? Commander, good evening. So because he played his first game at MetLife Stadium since that injury, I guess they wanted him to show out. But he had a good game. 281 yards, like I said, 2 touchdowns. It was only 1 turnover, but that was late in the game. But it was a pretty clean football game. But it was one-sided. It was a very dominant performance. As like I said, the Patriots, I don't want to say they didn't show up. I just think they was ill-equipped to play this game because they only had the ball for, like I said, 20 minutes. You're not going to really be able to run that many plays. It's just that's just how this thing goes. It's very rare. The Jets were 10 or 15 for third down. They played a total football game for the first time this season, and it showed. 24-3. Like there's nothing else to like really report about this thing, right? Like I said, 120 yards passing by 2 quarterbacks on the Patriots. That's not going to get it done. It's nothing else to really report. That they kept the pocket clean for Aaron Rodgers. Just looking at the Jets allowed 2 sacks. The Jets had 7 sacks. It was total plays. The Patriots only ran 48 total plays. If you're not hitting a long pass or getting long runs, 48 total plays is not going to get you nowhere. And like I said, 20 minutes of time of possession, not going to get it done in the NFL. So I believe the Jets next week they go overseas. I think they're in London to play the Minnesota Vikings. That'll be a 9:30 start on the NFL Network on October 6th. They got 10 days off. Both teams got 10 days off. I can't recall who New England's getting ready to play. But give me a second. I'll find them. I'll find week 3 for the Patriots. The Patriots fall to 1-2. But the defense, it was pretty good, but they stayed on the field too long tonight. So that wasn't enough for them. as this is they go against the 49ers next Sunday in San Francisco. So they got to get themselves ready for a long trip in 10 days. Yep, in 10 days. Wait a minute, I'm missing a game. I'm sorry, the Jets don't play the. Nah, I skipped a week. I totally skipped the whole week. My apologies. They play they play on the 29th. They I skipped the date. That date was October 6th. My apologies once again. Uh I'll get their next opponent in a second. But anyway, like I said, it was just that one sided tonight. And I know a lot of people expect me to go on and on about it because this is my team. But no, I'm a fan of the Jets. That is why I watch football. But I'm not going to do all that because at the end of the day, it was just that one sided. They made a lot of mistakes, but they overcame them because the lack of offense that showed up for the Patriots tonight was not good. They played the Denver Broncos on the 29th at MetLife again. So that's a game that they'll have to play. But it was one sided tonight. Uh, but in other sports news, though, in other sports news, quick baseball information, right? So today in baseball, Shohei Ohtani became the first Major League Baseball player to hit 50 home runs and 50 still 50 bases in a single season. We know last year Ronald Acuna had 40 and 70, but it's different when you hit 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. I believe that, Shohei Ohtani will be the National League MVP as, the Dodgers continuously win in baseball games. But the fact that you do something that nobody's ever done in history is always going to get attention. And, because he's a Japanese player, he's going to get a lot of notoriety because where he goes, his countrymen will follow him and cheer for him and things like that. But it was a great highlight. It was a great thing to see today actually today he was unbelievable. The man was 6 for 6, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. And anybody that do numbers, if you go 6 for 6, you're more than your batting average is going to hike up at least 7 to 10 points. 6 for 6. It's hard to go 5 for 5, but if you go 6 for 6, that is remarkable. That is a remarkable feat. And the Dodgers they just destroyed the Miami Marlins. Was it Miami or Florida? The Florida Marlins. Okay, the Florida Marlins, 20-4, and Shohei Ohtani had 10 of 20 RBIs. 10 of the 20 runs scored is because of Shohei Ohtani. That's unbelievable. That's something. I don't know how many people follow baseball, but if you watch baseball, those are some things that'd be unheard of. It's been a long time since we saw a double threat player, meaning he pitches and then he'll play the outfield. He ain't playing the outfield this year because he had a Tommy John surgery, but they allowed him to bat this year. If that's what Tommy John do, I think a whole bunch of more people better get on that get under that knife, because if you can hit 50 home runs, that's no easy task. It's been so it's it just seems normal now because there's players hitting 50 home runs. Aaron Judge has hit 50 home runs back to back. No, I don't know if it's back to back years. I know he hit it. He did it this year. He did it a few years ago. Pete Alonso of the New York Mets did the same thing, right? But congratulations to Shohei Ohtani. That's a feat. Who knows if it'll be repeated? It's going to be very interesting to see if it's done again. But when there's a first of anything done, you tip your hat. Also today, the WNBA is wrapping up their regular season. They have now have the playoff pictures. They have the playoffs and the seeds locked up. The New York Liberty was the number one team. They will be playing the Atlanta Dreams. The second seeded Minnesota Lynx will play the 7th seed Phoenix Mercury. Caitlin Clark and her number 6 seeded Indiana Fever will be playing the Connecticut Suns. And Asia Wilson and her 4th ranked Las Vegas Aces will play the Seattle Storms. Most of these games, the playoff season starts this Sunday. There's no official number like who's playing when and what time. We just know that the seedings are there. And it was a very interesting year for the WNBA regular season, right? We know about Caitlin Clark and her record-setting rookie season as she became the single season rookie scorer and assist lady. We know that Angel Reese of the Chicago Sky became the number 1 rookie rebounder. But tonight, Tina Charles became the WNBA leader in rebounds in a career. And we know Asia Wilson is just dominating, who will more than likely be the MVP of this WNBA season. So there's a lot of sports that's, a lot of things that's happening. Just get ready to start up. Baseball is winding down. As you know, the wild card races are getting exciting. The Detroit Tigers is coming out of nowhere to catch the Minnesota Twins to get the final spot in the American League. And the Mets and Braves, who are 2 games apart. The Mets have the final wild card spot. Well, actually, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks that have the final wild card spot. And the Braves are 2 games back with 9 games approximately for every team, which will end. The season ends in October. But there's a lot of good baseball going on because the Braves and Mets have a 3-game series in the middle around this time next week that can decide it should decide who's going where. If the Braves could catch the Mets, they'll probably catch them there. And if the Mets pull away, they can eliminate the Braves in that 3-game series. But, like I said, baseball is getting to the finish line. The WNBA going to start this Sunday, their playoff season. Excuse me. But tonight was just that one-sided, 24-3 in the NFL on a prime Thursday. Their second week of having prime games on Prime, Amazon Prime. And the next Prime game, it may even be worse than tonight's game. Because next week, it'll be the Dallas Cowboys against the New York Giants. I don't know how many people have been checking my community wall as I did an early preseason prediction. I think the New York Giants is going to be the worst team this year. because they don't have their cupboard. Their cupboard is bare. They don't even have a storehouse. Right? They have nothing stored. They have one hope, Malik Neighbors. He's a great wide receiver, but he doesn't have the quarterback to get him the ball on a consistent basis. I believe that Daniel Jones was overpaid, and they should have never kept him over Saquon Barkley. Even though Saquon Barkley dropped the ball Monday and gave the game away to the Falcons, I just don't think that Daniel Jones is the best choice for the quarterback in the New York Giants. But that's going to be next Thursday's game. So tonight, what I'll do is I'll do some predictions since I have the time, because the game. No, they don't have no storehouse, Commander, because they have nothing. When I say they don't have nothing, they don't have anything. Right? So I'll do some predictions live while I'm here. The Giants play the Cleveland Browns. Well, if I just said the Giants ain't gonna have a great record, y'all know I'm picking the Giants. The Eagles and Saints play this Sunday as well. Now, let me just say this. The Saints have started out like gangbusters, scoring 40 points in their first two games, just dismantling the Dallas Cowboys last week. And even though the Eagles gave the game to the Atlanta Falcons, I'm picking the Saints. I'm picking the Saints because there's no way in the world. I don't think they have the tools to stop this offense. As long as Derek Carr plays the way he's been playing the past 2 weeks, I don't think there's a way that the Eagles can stop them. I don't care what they do. Their defense is not what it once was. There's two 2-0 teams playing as the Houston Texans play the Minnesota Vikings. Now, the Minnesota Vikings are a shocker to me. I never had them going 2-0. Sam Darnold's playing great football. But so are the Texans. I just like the Texans defense. I like their head coach. I think he's also their defensive coordinator. I just think they'll dial some things up for Sam Darnold to knock him off his pedestal a little bit. So I'm going to pick the Texans to beat the Vikings. Another shocking team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They will be at home playing the Denver Broncos. Even though I'm high on Bo Nix, I just think that he's a rookie quarterback. He's not adjusting to the NFL. He doesn't even have a touchdown pass this year. So I'm going to pick the Bucs. Now, it's rumored that Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers may be a game time decision, but they're playing the Titans. So I don't care who they play. I don't care who quarterback. I don't care if Malik Willis is going to quarterback. There's something about the Titans that they're just like they give games away, and I think they'll give this game away as well. So I'm gonna pick the Packers over the Titans. The Colts will be hosting the Bears. Now, I don't even know. Like, I know Anthony Richardson is playing some decent football, and Caleb Williams, the rookie quarterback, the number 1 draft pick, he doesn't have a touchdown pass. But I'm gonna pick the Colts because they're at home. Here's another two 2-0 teams playing, as the Los Angeles Chargers will be in Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. Now, naturally, even though Pittsburgh's at home, I just think that Justin Herbert, but he's injured. So I just think I think the Chargers could win, even if Justin Herbert's not playing. Jim Harbaugh, it's going to be a tight game. I just think that the Chargers will do something to pull it off. As Justin Fields of the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's playing ball control like he just game managing the game. I don't know if he can actually pull a game out, but if he do, this will be the first game he'll pull out. You going for Pittsburgh? Okay. I'm gonna go with the LA Chargers, Commander. I just think that there's a lot of pressure on Justin Fields to do better because he got somebody over his shoulder, the backup quarterback, which should have been the starting quarterback, Russell Wilson. He got him looking over his shoulder, so it's a lot of pressure on Justin Fields. I'm gonna just pick them. They may win by field goal, the Los Angeles Chargers, but I'm gonna pick them. The Dolphins are going out west to play the Seattle Seahawks, who is another 2-0 team. No Tua. I don't think they have a chance, so I'm gonna pick the Seahawks. Panthers and Raiders. The Panthers are going out to Vegas to play the Raiders. I'm gonna pick the Raiders because they just came back from a 10-point deficit against the Baltimore Ravens, and Carolina is known for giving up a lot of points. So I'm gonna pick the Raiders. The 49ers are playing the Rams. It's an NFC West battle, but Matthew Stafford don't have his two top receivers in Puka Nakua or Cooper Cup. So I'm gonna pick the 49ers. They're mad anyway. Oh my God. The Lions are going to Arizona to play the Cardinals. I think that Cardinals, they played a hell of a game, but I think the Lions are very upset because I know Word is upset. You think so, Commander? Commander, I'm keeping this intact because I'm going to rewind the tape. But I think the Lions are going to win, even though Kyler Murray had a great game last week. I just think the Lions are a different team than the Rams that they just played. So I'm gonna pick the Lions. The Ravens at the Cowboys. Now this is a game that I don't know what to pick. I'm not even going to lie to you. I think Lamar Jackson has a lot to prove. Like I just said, they just lost a 10-point lead. Him and Derrick Henry haven't meshed well as far as running, and he's not throwing the ball well. And the Cowboys, they're upset because they just got they tails handed to them by the Saints. But I don't think the Cowboys can stop the run. Now, if they force some turnovers, they may win, but I don't see them forcing turnovers. So I'm gonna pick the Ravens over the Cowboys. Sunday night game is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Falcons. Now, it sounds like a no-brainer, but the Falcons have a very good defense. But how many times can you bet against Patrick Mahomes and he pulls a rabbit out of his hat all the time? So I'm gonna pick the Chiefs. That's the 8 o'clock game Sunday. They will be in Atlanta, but I'm still picking the Chiefs. And the Monday night games will be. There's 2 Monday night games this week. The first game is in Buffalo as the Jacksonville Jaguars will play the Buffalo Bills. I don't see how the Jaguars could win. I'm picking Buffalo, even though I need them to lose so the Jets could be tied with them. But I'm picking Buffalo. And the last game will be the Bengals against the Commanders. Commander, you think I should pick the Commanders? I should pick your team since that's your name? I don't know how that goes. I'm going to pick the Bengals. I'm going to pick the Bengals only because Jaden Daniels don't have a touchdown pass either. but they did just beat the Giants with 7 field goals. I don't think you can keep winning. I don't think you can keep winning on just field goals. So I think the Commanders, not you, Commander, are going to lose. You're a winner, Commander. But the Washington Commanders, I don't think they'll win this week. So those are my picks for the week. Let me go ahead and reiterate who I picked. The Browns are going to win up. I have the Browns over the Giants, the Saints over the Eagles, Texans over the Vikings, Bucks over the Broncos, Packers over Titans, Colts over the Bears. Oh, the Chargers against the Steelers. Commander got the Steelers winning that game. Seahawks over the Dolphins, Raiders over the Panthers, Niners and Rams. I have the 49ers. Commander having that being a great game. The Lions and Cardinals, I picked the Lions. Uh, I have the Ravens over the Cowboys, the Chiefs over the Falcons, Bills over the Jags, and the Bengals over not my favorite Commander, but the Washington Commanders. And those are my picks for the week. Uh, yeah, those are the picks for the week. Uh, I will be back Sunday unless something of importance happens. I may just jump up here and do a update. I don't think there's any fights or anything like that. I don't think, unless another major sporting situation occurs. But I will be back Sunday night to rewrite all of these games. Now I know I did bad last week. I think I may have won 4 out of 10. I think. No, was it 4 out of 10? Yeah, I won 4 picks. I picked 10 and I lost 6 of them. I felt like LeBron James. But LeBron James is great, and he's going to try to redeem himself. And hopefully this week these picks will redeem me. But it's going to be a lot of interesting games. It's going to we're going to wait and see how they turn out. But don't laugh, Commander. But like I said in week 2, it was a lot of the games that I picked, and that's why they play the games, because at the end of the day, it's like Willie Beeman. Any given Sunday, the team that you thought could win, lose. And there could be a lot of upsets. I just don't see. Like I said, I don't know how this is gonna go. I know there will be at least 2 teams that'll lose their first game this week. But I'm expecting good football. And I don't know if we're going to see a lot of passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. I just expect good football this week. There's some great teams. There's some high-ranking teams that played this year. Can the Saints keep it up? Can they keep it going against the Eagles? Can the Texans, who's going to win out of the 2-0 battle, the Vikings or the Texans? Who's going to win the second 2-0 battle, the Chargers or the Steelers? It's a lot of options. It's a lot of good games, but somebody has to lose their first game unless it's a tie. And I don't have a tie. I think the Steelers. I believe I picked the Steelers and the Cleveland Browns to have a tie this year in my preseason predictions of records. So, but yeah, there's going to be some good games. My final thought is, there's a lot of good things happening in the sports world, right? Like I said, the playoff season's getting ready to come for 2 sports. Now, around the corner is, I don't know if anybody watches NHL, but they get ready to start in a couple of weeks. And we also know that in a couple of weeks is basketball season. While I have not decided if I want to do basketball every night, it's an interesting thing. But that may be a lot for a lot of the subscribers. I don't really know who watches basketball. I'm a basketball lover. I've been around basketball the majority of my life. My brother, he hates when I tell his story, but my brother tried out for the Knicks, and I was supposed to have been his agent, and he was missed the cut by one. He missed the last. He was cut, the last player cut. And this was about a 97, 98 season. Ugh, if he would have, oh my God, I just imagine what would have happened if that would have went through. I may not have been here. So sometimes things happen in life to allow you to be at your present place at the present time. So, but the point of the story is I have not decided, because basketball runs all the way to about 1, 2 o'clock. I don't know if my subscribers or anybody's going to be up to listen to that. Yeah, that's how I feel. Dang it. I'd be, I'd be, I think I would be a great agent for a lot of people. And the funny thing about it is, I know a few people. I've been around, some basketball players. I've been around people like Malik Sealy, Ron Artest, uh, Charlie Villanueva. Growing up in New York, you see a lot of professional people. If you go to the Rucker tournament in Harlem, or you go to West Fourth, you can run into a bunch of people. You meet a bunch of people. You sit down and have conversations with some of these athletes. You know, but being around that sport has allowed me to, see the beauty of it and enjoy its worth in people's lives. And it also brings people together. But that's what I want this channel to do. I want people to feel free to come up and have conversations. I want people to go ahead and have sport conversation. Not we can't debate it, because at the end of the day, it's about two teams. There's gonna be interesting subjects. Just like last week we had a conversation about Tua and his decision to not retire and how that affects his family, his loved ones, but how we look at, people that are in high standards as far as athletes and things like that, how they have to make value decisions, and how do we view it, and how we would have made those decisions. That was a great conversation. Shout out to the Word for coming up and having that conversation with me. But there's going to be more conversations to come. Whether it's this Sunday, we got 2 games on Monday Night Football, but something probably will happen this weekend to where we'll have a conversation. Whether it's, the Eagles not running the ball on third down to keep the clock running and then eventually losing. But something interesting always happens in sports to where we can have that conversation. And I want people to feel free and come up and have those conversations. We can debate it if that's a good play or bad play, but we're going to leave it right here where it's at, you know. And as the weeks go on, I expect people to come up with good topics and conversations that they want to have themselves. I'm available to have it. You're welcome to have those conversations on the panel. It's not just about me. It's just about anybody that wants to have conversations about sports in general. That's why Mr. 33 is here. That's why the sports chat is here, to have those conversations. So with that being said, I thank you all for coming up or viewing it or catching the replay. I thank Commander for sitting there. Now, Commander, I'm going to hold you to these things. You're going for Pittsburgh. I only see you going for Pittsburgh. I know you're not going for your namesake. I don't blame you. But I'm watching the Pittsburgh exclusively. So I'm gonna hold you to that. But thank y'all for coming up. Once again, congratulations to Shohei Ohtani, who went for 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. The first time that happened all season. I mean, in a MLB season in the history of baseball. Y'all know baseball is old. Congratulations to Tina Charles for setting a record of total rebounds in a career. And we're going to watch them ladies go ahead and play basketball this weekend. And sports is getting ready to pick up. So with that being said, I truly appreciate everybody coming through. I appreciate people coming through and watching the replay. Oh, no doubt. And with that being said, y'all, I appreciate y'all all, and I'm out.